Are these people harassing you?
Harassing him? We're his parents!
I told you, Mother. This is for your protection.
Protection from what, exactly?
He just got back from Delphi. Spoke with the Oracle. Been out of his mind ever since.
She revealed my prophecy. My mind has never been more clear. She said I would do unspeakable things to my parents. That Mother's blood would stain the earth. And Pater would scream to the gods in agony.
Well, the Oracle does speak on behalf of the gods. If she says Mater will bleed and Pater will scream, then it's wise you've locked yourself up.
You see? The Mystios agrees with me.
Oh, Supidio, you believe complete strangers before your own parents.
Not just strangers, Mater. My own gut tells me these things will happen. Unless... You can help me.
Here we go.
You could save my parents from my vicious wrath.
You don't have a vicious bone in your body.
Quiet, Pater. Me and the Mystios are talking. My sword and shield. Gifts from Mater and Pater. We must return them to my parents, so they can defend themselves from my ferocious temper.
All right, Supidio. I'll get these weapons for you. For a price.
Of course! My parents will gladly pay you for your troubles.
What?
What?
Seek out Costa, the village blacksmith. I brought him the sword to be sharpened not too long ago.
And the shield?
This will be trickier. I'll explain when you return from the blacksmith.
Can't wait.
You mustn't free me. These ropes are the only thing. My parents and my wrath. Go see the blacksmith and get me my sword.
Και διελθύνεν ταύκα. Ω, Θεοί, διατίανε.
Aphrodite on Earth. My name is Costa, at your service.
Kassandra.
Whatever you need, name it. It's yours. I could bend some metal for you, oil those rippling muscles, fix that broken spear.
I'm looking for a sword. Belongs to Supidio.
Ah, Supidio. Love that boy. Bit on the thin side, if you ask me. His parents feed him nothing.
Yes. Well, he needs his sword back.
And I'd love to give it to you. His sword, I mean. But I can't just hand over swords to every gorgeous warrior who walks by.
Just give me the sword, or I'll make this a day you'll never forget.
Oh, there's no need to get all heated. Tell you what, I'm drinking wine with someone special tonight. And I'd really like to make a good impression. But there's a small problem. My spear is also broken.
What a shame.
But there are special flowers in the forest beyond Xerxes' military fort. Planted by Aphrodite herself. They really help to, reforge, if you know what I mean.
Fine. I'll get the flowers and you'll give me the spear. I mean, sword. Don't go anywhere. That should be enough to stoke the blacksmith's flame.
Gorgeous, Misthios. You take my breath away. Did you bring the flowers?
I can't even go flower picking without some beast trying to kill me. But yes, I have them.
Perfect. This will make tonight a night to remember.
I'm very happy for you. Now, what you promised.
Of course, of course. I was just wondering, since we're here, what if I took the flowers now? There's a clean spot in my shop where we could,
I'm only here for the sword. I did what you asked. Now hand it over.
You break my heart, Misthios. But I'll make good use of the flowers. Here's the sword, as I promised.
I should get this back to Stupidio's parents before he does anything... Stupidio.
Misthios, you've returned. Did you bring the sword?
I did.
Thank the gods. I knew I could count on you. But this is only one of the items I needed. And I have 2 parents.
So tell me about this shield.
Well, according to my parents, it was stolen while I was visiting the Oracle of Delphi.
Stolen? It's as good as gone, then.
I overheard Mater and Pater whispering about it. They mentioned the cave beyond the Red Lake. Talked about the thief as if they knew her.
Strange.
Go to the cave, Misthios. Bring me back my shield. Only then will my parents be truly safe from my fury. Misthios! At last! Did you find the shield?
I did. Now, you can protect yourselves from... the prophecy.
So, you found the thief?
Oh yes. Cut her in half. She won't steal anything from anyone ever again.
And what about the blacksmith?
He's fine. Could use a cold bath, but he's fine.
Thank the gods.
Thank you, Misthios. You spared my parents from my wrath. Now, if you would release me.
Actually, there's something your mother and I have to tell you. Your parents are...
Very happy to have such a caring son to protect us. Thank you, Misthios. We're all fine now.
Odd family.
I should have never let my son go to Delphi. I should have never let my son go to Delphi.
stopping by.
I'm here to see Socrates.
Cassandra!
You know who I am?
Of course I do. Socrates never stops talking about you.
And you are?
His wife, of course. I'm Xanthippe.
Of course. With how much Socrates has told me, it's like I already know you.
Oh? What sort of things has he said?
He said how beautiful you are. I see now how true his words were.
You flatter me. Though I'm surprised Socrates said as much to you. He's not the type to focus on looks.
So where is Socrates? I got a note that said to meet him here.
That's what I'd like to know. He went to another symposium last night, and he didn't come home after.
Sounds like a good place to start looking.
I was just about to head there myself. Come, keep me company.
How long have you and Socrates been married?
It's been quite some time now.
What is it about him that you love so much?
Love is not the word I'd use. He frustrates me to no end.
That doesn't surprise me.
Even so, it's worth the frustration. His mind is like no other. Not to mention, he's quite a good lover.
That is not something I wanted to picture. It must be why Alcibiades seems so infatuated with him.
Don't mention that name around me. Always coming by drunk, sending Socrates gifts like giant cakes.
I didn't know.
It's fine.
Xanthippe! Xanthippe, over here! Xanthippe!
What is it?
Socrates! They took him away. They said he was under arrest.
For what?
I have no idea. We were just talking after the symposium. I'd say go ask him yourself, but he'll be guarded. They took him southeast of here.
That fool! I knew this would happen to him one day.
I'll find him. Don't worry.
This is his doing. It's best to let these things run their course.
I can't believe Socrates was arrested. I need to find out what happened.
check that out.
Kassandra, what are you doing here?
I could ask you the same.
Well, here I am. Though I'm more curious about how you are here. The gods let you in?
We've known each other a long time now. You know how I got in here.
You've taught me that the blade can sometimes be necessary. But I don't think this was one of those times.
I was worried about you.
Your care is appreciated, but if you had waited only a bit longer, I'm sure my trial would have taken place and I'd be free.
You're not going to trial. We're getting you out of here.
I understand your concern, but what good would escaping do other than prove I'm guilty? No. In fact, I'm looking forward to this trial.
You would go to trial just to prove you can convince them of your innocence?
Exactly. You have your ways to find excitement, and I have mine.
What were you arrested for?
I haven't the slightest idea.
And that doesn't bother you?
Sometimes understanding does not come at the moment we would like. More importantly, this is giving me the necessary time to think.
About?
I went to see the Pythia, and she told me there is none wiser than me. An intriguing thought, and one I've been unable to stop thinking about.
Socrates, the Pythia is...
It matters not what you believe she is or she isn't. I must examine not only her words, but my own self as well. I know nothing, so how could I be called wise?
What does that have to do with being locked up?
I believe my time here and this trial may help me find the answer. I will be fine. Trust me.
I've known you for a while now.
That's true.
And you'd call us friends?
I would.
And friends share important things with one another. Is that so?
It is.
Then how did I not know you were married? From what you just said, that means either we're not friends, or that friends don't share with one another. So, which is it?
I've wondered how much of our conversation you've taken to heart. And now, I have my answer.
Were you doing anything when you got arrested?
If speaking my mind is worth imprisonment, then I suppose I was.
In the future, you may want to be more careful.
You risk life and limb every time you draw your blade. Just because it's my tongue that is sharp, doesn't mean I'm not prepared to face the consequences of using it.
Since you won't leave with me, I'll go see the Pythia myself.
That's not necessary.
I'll find out why she told you that. I won't let you go to trial, even if you think you'll be found innocent.
Ah, Kassandra, you...
I'll come back when I have what I need.
Ow! Hey!
Oh no, not you.
You remember me?
Just go. I'm too old for this.
There might be a bit of blood when you go upstairs.
You again?
I'm here for a different reason.
After last time, they tortured me. I thought they were going to kill me, just like I told you. It hurt so badly, I begged for death.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
Just hurry, and tell me what you want.
You told Socrates something, and I want to know why.
Questioning why the Pythia speaks is a strange thing.
I know why you speak, and I know who controls your voice. Tell me why the cult had you tell Socrates he's the wisest.
The cult didn't tell me to say that. I did that on my own.
Tell me the truth, or I'll force you to.
I gain nothing by lying to you. If you and Socrates are close, you are my ally in this as well.
An ally for what?
I know much of Socrates. Not only has he visited me often, but his students do as well.
Get to the point.
You know the gods don't speak through me. I feel Socrates is the one who can convince others of this. If he succeeds, the cult will have no more need for me.
So you're hoping he comes to the conclusion that the gods don't exist?
It matters not if Socrates believes they exist. He needs simply to doubt that the gods speak through me.
I understand why you think Socrates can help, but why tell him he's the wisest?
He'll delve into what it means to be wisest. It's my hope he'll conclude he's not, and therefore doubt the words of the gods.
If you just told him your words aren't from the gods, wouldn't that serve the same purpose? And much quicker?
Socrates is not the type to desire the answer so easily. He'll have more drive when he finds the answer on his own.
This is getting complicated.
Whatever you do, you can't tell Socrates.
I understand. He has to come to the answer on his own.
Exactly. Although, if you truly wish to help Socrates, a student of his came by not long before you. He seemed distraught.
Distraught?
He was clutching a book tightly to his chest and kept looking over his shoulder. He told me he was going into a tomb nearby until things were safe.
Thank you. I'll find him.
Go with Apollo, child. The Oracle is done for the day.
Please, don't come back here again.
This is it.
Sorry for sharing my fear of tombs with you.
What was that?
Nothing.
This won't take long! You're not...
Is bigger than I thought. He has to be around here somewhere.
Leave me alone! Go away!
You don't need to be scared now. I'm not with them.
That doesn't mean you won't kill me. You just want this for yourself.
I'm a friend of Socrates.
You are? Prove it!
Socrates is one of the most frustrating people I've ever known. He just talks and talks and talks. And it feels like he asks questions just so he can continue talking and talking and talking.
What you call frustrating, I call brilliant. But it's clear you know him well.
Why were those men after you?
For some reason, they wanted these writings of Socrates's. Well, I wrote them, but it's all his words.
That seems like a strange thing to want.
One mouth. He mentioned something about the priest at the sanctuary of Athena Pronea. He said this was the final thing they needed to get rid of Socrates.
I've always been curious. What does Socrates teach you?
So much. Follow him around for an entire day and you won't be able to sleep. Your mind will be so aflutter with thoughts.
I'm not sure I'd last a whole day with him. What drew you to Socrates?
I've never met a man like him, and I don't think I ever will again. Every day with him is one worth waking up for.
I'll take care of the priests.
Thank you. And, well, please, give this to Socrates. It hurts me to say this after all I've learned from him, but I have a family. I can't risk being caught up in whatever this is.
So you're going to stop being his student?
It feels I have no choice. Maybe one day that will change.
I'll be sure to give him the writings.
Thank you. Make sure he stays safe. The world will be a worse place without him in it.
That student gave me an idea. Xanthippe said there was a symposium. Maybe I can convince the others who were there to help Socrates. I'm not sure why the priests want... That is gone. But I need to take care of them. I need to talk to them.
Πούφανο! Εκρύπτει κανείς!
Maybe I can convince them to stop.
Do not students take what they learn from their teachers? What then if the teacher is wrong? Does that not simply perpetuate these wrong teachings amongst future generations?
You assume the students aren't wise enough to understand the flaws of the teacher. Think of those who came before us. First Thales, then his student Anaximandros, and then Anaximenes. Without the teachings of those before him, it's safe to say Anaximenes would not have reached the conclusions he did.
I don't think that's true at all. Oh, perhaps this new phase can offer a different perspective.
I didn't hear a single thing you just said.
Is that so? Well, let me simplify it quickly. Thales taught Anaximandros, who taught Anaximenes. Wouldn't you agree that students learn from the failings of their teachers?
I've never heard the names you just mentioned.
It's never too late to learn. But even so, one doesn't need to know who they are to answer. Is it not a risk that wrong ideas will be passed along if a student doesn't have the wisdom to seek the truth?
If a student asks questions before first learning from their teacher, they've not only failed their teacher, but themselves.
Yes, and more would do well to challenge what they hear.
Your appearance betrays you, Misthios. Clearly, you've taken on a teacher of your own.
Something like that. He's the reason I'm here. Socrates needs your help.
Socrates? Ha! If it's another debate you want, it will be hard for us to decide who hates that man more. Why would we help him?
It doesn't matter if he's your worst enemy. If they're willing to imprison someone like Socrates only for his words, what's to say they won't do the same to you?
So, you want us to help out of fear of being imprisoned ourselves?
I don't care why you help. If I hadn't said his name, would you think it was right Socrates was locked up?
If it's as you say, and it was for his words, then no.
And aren't you afraid it could happen to you, too?
Of course. If we can't speak our minds, what else are we to do?
If you believe that, then you should help.
Fine, fine. You've made your point, and you've made it well. Socrates deserves our help, but we don't give it lightly.
That makes it worth even more.
We'll be on our way then. We'll gather some others as well. Make sure our voices are heard. Believe it or not, we're pretty good at causing a scene.
If you're like Socrates, that's not hard to believe.
Wow, I've never seen someone convince them so easily before.
Is that so? I guess I should feel proud. I'm surprised to see a child here.
Is there an age at which it would suddenly be okay to debate with them? What then of the night before I turned that age? Should we be prevented from doing what we wish due to the world's view of us?
I regret doubting you at all.
Thank you. There are few things greater than gaining the understanding of another.
On that, we disagree.
Disagreements can lead to even more understanding.
You're the first kid I've met who'd rather debate than play.
Don't tell the others, but I'm envious that you're a student of Socrates. I hope one day to be as well.
You're on the right path. What's your name?
Aristocles. Although I've never liked that name much.
It does sound like countless others I've heard around Athens. Why not choose another?
I can do that? Huh. My brother always had a problem saying my name, so he called me Plato instead. Perhaps I'll use that.
I like it.
Thank you. Well, I better hurry after the others. Here.
Είναι τρόπο από δρασμετεύστε.
Those priests must be the ones who hired the thugs and want to get rid of Socrates. They won't be able to testify against Socrates. I should return to Socrates before the trial starts.
Πού κασφαλές εστί!
Πού δυνατό.